I was sitting here editing the video and I realized how bad the audio quality is. Here's an example. Today we're doing a pull day, so I decided to cut it out completely. So it's a back day, pull day. We're gonna be focused on back and biceps. Also, in half of it, I recorded in portrait mode, and the other half I recorded in horizontal. So not my best directorial debut. First exercise we're going to be doing is a cable lat row. So we're going to be using, because I don't have a seated cable row like you would see in a gym, we are going to be doing a kneeling cable row. So here's how I would set that up if you have an at-home cable machine. Take the bench, roll it up. This cable should be right about in line with this so that when you're pulling it, I know it's a shit tier angle, just hang with me, just like this. All right, so you're here, and there we go. I'm gonna do one warm-up set at a pretty heavy weight, nothing too crazy, like 80% of my working weight. I like to brace my hip against the bench to keep myself a little bit better stability. Don't focus on pulling the handle, focus on driving your elbow down here, okay? If I'm focusing on pulling the handle, look at the arm angle here. You're getting more bicep and less lat, whereas here, you're getting as much lat as possible. That's the goal. For a lot of your back work, I'd highly recommend putting on straps. It takes away grip as a limiting factor, and for a lot of exercises like rows, for example, if your grip is giving out before your back is, that's what's being worked the most. So invest in straps, they're like 10 bucks. Also, if you have a cable machine and the weight isn't heavy enough for you, this is a gym pin, ships out of the UK, I'm pretty sure. gym-pin.co.uk is where you get one of these. These just slide in just like this. I'm gonna put my stack at the max weight. Slide this in like the 4 or 5. It really doesn't matter. The only reason I put it up so high is so that the plates don't bump against the ground at the bottom. And then you can stack plates on here. The most I've ever stacked is 135 pounds on top of this, so it can at least handle that much. But I'm not liable for if it breaks on you or whatever. The company is, I guess. They're not either. They don't tell you how much these can handle. I mean, for good reason. They don't want lawsuits. So yeah, just do it at your own risk. For putting these straps on around here, I just like to pull it like this, make sure it's real tight, and then loop it back around. There we go. And this will be the first working set. For these, I like doing about 3 to 5 sets, 6 to 12-ish reps, and honestly I go to about 1 to 2 RIR, if not all the way to failure. And sometimes I do an intensity technique where I'll go a little bit past failure and just do partial range of motions in the length and position. I'll show that off in a bit. Here we go. So that's 10. Something you'll notice that I do on my lat movements is I'll turn in toward the working arm. So I'm not pulling straight and, you know, in front of my body. I'm pulling a little bit across my body. This is because the lats use the ribs as leverage. They wrap around the ribs, and so you can get them a little bit more lengthened and use the ribs as a pivot point by turning in toward the working arm. So instead of here, I'm here, okay? So here's what it looks like if I was going straight on versus turning in toward the working arm. Just a subtle change. There we go. Probably had about 3 left in the tank. Remember, drive the elbow, don't worry about pulling the cable. This is just a meat hook, that's it. For any lat movements, you want to keep your elbows tucked into your body. Just like that. I'd also focus on driving as hard as you can, and then that's the concentric. So here, when you're doing work to the weight, drive as hard as you can, and then on the eccentric, or the negative portion, just do it under control. It doesn't have to be any amount of time. They've done studies where They compare a short eccentric versus a long eccentric. There's no difference in muscle growth. So I wouldn't worry too much about really drawing out the eccentric. The most important thing is that you fight against it. You don't just let it go. Last set, so I'm gonna take this one to failure, and then I'm gonna do some partials in the lengthened position just to really burn out my lats. Lats aren't really a priority for me right now. So since I'm not doing as much volume, I'm taking them close and beyond failure, if we're being honest. So I won't be able to do full range of motion by the end of this. Nope. Okay. So right there, I got 9, I think, plus 2 partials. And then I'll just match that on my opposite side. If you have a stronger or weaker side, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. A lot of people way overblow the idea of like staying in balance. It doesn't matter. People are left and right-handed. Everybody's unbalanced, and that's not a bad thing. If you notice that it's affecting your performance in lifts, or you just want to be more balanced, then what I would do is start with your weaker side and then match reps on your stronger side. So for example, if you do 9 reps on your weaker side, just do 9 on your stronger side. It'll balance out over time. Oh, fuck. Ooh. Next up, we're doing a wide grip cable row. Very basically, when you are training your back, if your arms are like this and elbows are tucked into your ribs, it's for the lats. If they're about 45 degrees, it's best for the rear delt. And if they're up about 90 degrees, then it's best for your upper back. So we just did a lat motion. We're gonna do an upper back movement next. And my favorite way to train the upper back right now is with my cable machine, and I do a seated cable wide grip row. This Easy Bar came with the Costco cable machine, and I just grab it on the outsides just like this for the row. I put my feet against these posts for a little bit extra stability, wrap my wrist wraps or wrist straps around, and then there we go. And at the top position, you want your shoulders to round forward a little bit. You can see kind of my back stretch out like that. And then drive your elbows back and pull your shoulder blades together. I was reviewing the footage on that last one, and I didn't love how my elbows were tucked. Not that it's a bad thing, it's just hitting more of my rear delts, and I want more of my upper back. So I'm gonna try changing the height on this and see if that makes a difference. For the cable row right now, upper back is a focus for me, so I'm gonna be doing 5 sets, but if you're new to it, I'd probably only do like 2, 3, maybe 4 sets, and then anywhere in the 8 to 15 rep range, probably pretty good, 0 to 2 RIR. Up next, we're doing some hammer curls. Now you could do these with dumbbells, but lately I've been liking doing them on this cable machine. Most of my upper body work at this point is done on this cable machine, especially anything to do with the arms. Just been liking this lately. So first things first, I would do a warm-up set. As with pretty much anything, I'm gonna hold them like this, but you can hold them any way you want to. Some people might like going like this and hang on to them just like this. That's fine. This kind of like nylon rubs against my knuckles. I don't know, it feels kind of weird. You could also grab it here at the ball, but I really just like grabbing it right here. You know, it doesn't really bother me, and it's really quick and easy. So here, and notice I'm going slightly inward, not straight like this. There we go. Between pretty much all these exercises, I'd recommend about 90-second rest at a minimum, 2 to 3 minutes if you can. Oh, this is gonna be heavy. Wow, last set. Drop the weight by 50%. Do it again. Drop sets are an intensity technique you definitely don't have to do. I just did 5 sets of this, but for most people I'd probably recommend 2 to 3 sets, especially if this is at the end of a pull day. Now, if you're trying to grow your biceps, Yeah, maybe do a little bit more. I would look at what volume you're doing right now and add 1 set per week, maybe 2 sets per week per muscle group or per exercise, and just kind of see how it goes. More isn't always better, but if you can recover from it and you have the time, go for it. Okay, last thing we're gonna be doing is easy bar reverse curls for the forearms. So let's get to it. I would grab here and here. I'd pick a weight you can do about 10 to 15 reps. Might as well just take it to failure. It's the last exercise of the day. I decided as a little workout finisher, I'm gonna do wide grip pull-ups to failure, so let's see how many I can do. I'm not using straps or anything. Yeah, we'll call it there. Solid workout. So that's a pull day. Next time, we'll either do a push day or a leg day.